$63. I want you to sit with that number for a second, because that is what one fill up on a midsize SUV costs right now, and if you drive for work, for kids, for life, you are doing that math 5 and 6 times a month and feeling it every single time. You stand there gripping the pump handle, watching the dollars sprint while the gallons crawl, and right at that exact moment of maximum pain, the industry has products waiting for you like a trap with the spring pulled back. The $15 bottle at the register with flames on the label promising unleashed power and maximum mileage. The $1 miracle pill all over your feed promising 30% better fuel economy from a tablet you just drop down the filler neck. And here is the part that should make you genuinely angry. One of the biggest fuel pill operations in American history got hauled into court by the Attorney General of Texas, and when state chemists cracked those miracle tablets open in a lab, you know what they found inside? Mothballs. Naphthalene, the stuff your grandmother kept in the closet, pressed into pill form and sold as combustion technology to working people who were just trying to afford their commute. So today we are burning the entire fuel additive aisle down to the studs, and then I am handing you the $1 tool that actually does what all those bottles and pills only pretend to do, and I promise it is nothing you expected, because it is a pencil tire gauge. Wait, do not click away, because the federal government's own test data says this dumb little aluminum stick recovers more real, verified mileage than everything on that additive shelf combined. So give me 10 minutes and I will prove it. Here's the secret the additive industry buries under all that flame-branded packaging. Your engine does not have a fuel-burning problem, your car has a fuel-wasting problem, and almost all of that waste happens in places no bottle can ever reach. The single biggest one you can actually control is sitting at all 4 corners of your vehicle right now. Your tire pressure. The EPA and the Department of Energy publish the numbers on this. Every single sigh of underinflation across your tires costs you about 0.2% in fuel economy, and properly inflating underinflated tires recovers up to 3% of your mileage. And here is why almost everybody is leaving that money on the table. Tires naturally lose about 1 sigh per month just sitting in your driveway. The air literally seeps out through the rubber, and they lose roughly another PSI for every 10-degree drop in outside temperature. So the car that got its tires set in April rolls into December down 8, 9, 10 PSI, and the owner has no idea, because a tire can be 20% low before it even starts to look soft to your eye. That is invisible money bleeding out of your tank on every single trip, and a $1 gauge plus 5 minutes a month gets every cent of it back, along with longer tire life and shorter stopping distances, which the additive aisle will never sell you at any price. And if you are done, I mean truly done, being treated like a walking ATM by companies that will literally press mothballs into pills and sell them to your desperation at the pump, hit subscribe and lock in with the Garage Underground right now, because this channel exists for one reason. We take the products they aim at your wallet, we run the real chemistry on camera, and we replace them with fixes that cost pennies and survive testing, and this community films their own results and posts them in the comments, which is exactly why the scam brands hate us and exactly why you can trust us. Now, let me give you the chemistry lesson the pill sellers are praying you never hear, because 2 minutes of real science vaporizes their entire pitch. Start with the biggest lie in the fuel aisle, the idea that octane means energy. It does not. Octane rating measures exactly one thing: how strongly a fuel resists igniting on its own under compression before the spark plug fires. 93 octane premium does not contain more energy than 87 regular. It is simply more stubborn about lighting off early. Now listen closely to the fuel pill pitch. They claim their tablet lowers the ignition temperature of your gasoline so it burns faster and more completely. Think about what that actually means. Making gasoline easier to ignite is, by definition, lowering its octane. Fuel that lights too easily under compression detonates before the spark arrives. That is engine knock. And your car has a knock sensor bolted to the block specifically to catch it. And the instant it does, the computer retards your ignition timing to protect the pistons. And retarded timing means less power and worse mileage. So if a fuel pill actually performed the chemistry it advertises, it would make your fuel economy worse, not better. And that is before we talk about what is physically inside some of these things. The real organometallic fuel additives that exist in the industrial world, compounds like kerosene and MMT, have a documented rap sheet. They leave iron and manganese oxide deposits behind after combustion, a fine conductive rust-colored dust that coats your spark plug insulators until they misfire, coats the sensing element of your oxygen sensors until they feed the computer garbage, and slowly plugs the honeycomb passages of your catalytic converter, which is a 4-figure part. And the deepest problem of all is that there is no locked up fuel energy for any pill to release in the first place. A modern fuel-injected engine running in closed loop already burns roughly 98% of the fuel entering the cylinder. Your oxygen sensors and computer are trimming that mixture many times every second. The real losses in your engine are heat, energy pouring out the exhaust and into the coolant, and that is fixed by compression ratio and thermodynamics locked in at the factory. And I am sorry, but nothing you drop down a filler neck renegotiates the laws of thermodynamics. Now compare that fantasy to the boring, beautiful physics of the tire, the only part of your car that touches the earth. An underinflated tire flexes more with every rotation, the sidewall bulges and squirms, and rubber that flexes converts motion into heat. Engineers call it hysteresis. You can call it your gasoline being turned into warm rubber. More flex means more rolling resistance, which means your engine burns extra fuel every mile just to drag those soft tires down the road. Firm them up to spec, and the flex drops, the heat drops, the rolling resistance drops, and your mileage comes back. No miracles, no unlocked energy, just physics that has been true since the pneumatic tire was invented, verified by federal testing instead of a guy in a rented lab coat. Now let us gut the expensive stuff properly, starting with the pills, because the story is even uglier than I told you. In 2006, the Texas Attorney General shut down a fuel pill operation that had pulled in tens of millions, selling all-natural tablets promising huge mileage gains, and state testing found those pills were essentially naphthalene mothball material, which does nothing for combustion and is exactly the kind of solid that refuses to fully dissolve in gasoline. And this was not a one-off. The EPA has bench-tested over 100 so-called gas-saving devices and additives across the decades, magnets, vortex, gadgets, pills, liquids, and found essentially none of them deliver measurable gains. That is the federal government spending real money to test this junk so you never have to. Then there is the $15 octane booster with the flames on the bottle. Read the fine print next time. When it says raises octane up to 3 points, in industry language points means tenths, it takes your 87 and makes it 87.3. A change your engine cannot even notice. And the bottle itself is mostly aromatic solvents and kerosene-range distillates acting as a carrier for almost nothing. Some of the harder core boosters use MMT, that manganese compound we just met, so you are paying $15 to lightly season your catalytic converter with metal ash. And while we are in this aisle, the premium fuel myth dies today too. If your owner's manual says regular, premium buys you absolutely nothing. No extra power, no extra mileage. Because your engine's compression and tune never ask for that extra knock resistance, you are donating 60 extra cents per gallon to the oil companies as a tip. Now, one honest exception, because I will always tell you when something on that shelf is real. Injector cleaner based on PEA, polyethyramine, is genuine detergent chemistry that dissolves carbon deposits off injector tips and intake valves. But hear the honest scope. PEA restores mileage that deposits stole from you over time. It never adds mileage above what your car did new, so it is for a vehicle with actual symptoms, a slow mileage slide across tens of thousands of miles, a lazy idle, hesitation when you tip into the throttle, one bottle, maybe twice a year, not a monthly $15 subscription for a healthy engine. Because cleaning restores contaminated parts, it never upgrades healthy ones. Here is the exact protocol, and it is almost embarrassingly simple. Step 1. Open your driver's door and look at the door jamb for a white or yellow sticker called the tire placard. It lists the cold inflation pressure your car's engineers specified for the front and rear tires. That number balances grip, braking, tire wear, and fuel economy for your exact vehicle, and that number is the law in this garage. Step 2. Buy a pencil tire gauge, $1 at any parts store, or a basic digital gauge for $8 if you want an easier read. Both are accurate enough for this job. Step 3. Always check cold, meaning first thing in the morning before driving or after the car has sat parked for at least 3 hours, because driving heats the air inside the tire and inflates the reading by several psi. Check hot and you will undershoot once everything cools back down. Step 4. Check all 4 tires plus the spare that every single person forgets exists until the worst night of their year. Step 5. Fill each tire to the placard number exactly, at the gas station air machine or with a $20 home inflator. Then recheck once a month, and again whenever the season flips. Remember the rules: 1 psi loss per month naturally, 1 psi loss per 10 degrees of temperature drop. Now stop everything and listen, because this is the critical warning, and both halves of it can cost you serious money or worse. Number 1. Never, under any circumstances, drop any solid object down your fuel filler neck, No pill, no tablet, no powder. I do not care what the label promises. Anything that does not fully dissolve in gasoline sinks to the bottom of your tank and gets pulled against the intake strainer of your fuel pump, a fine mesh sock, and once that sock starts to blind over with debris, the pump starves precisely when fuel demand peaks, wide open throttle, merging onto a highway, climbing a grade with your family in the car, and the engine leans out, stumbles, and can stall at speed with traffic closing behind you. And if that pill was one of the metallic formulas, you are also seeding your combustion chambers, oxygen sensors, and catalytic converter with metal oxide ash, converting a $1 tablet into a repair bill north of $1,000. Number 2. Never inflate to the big number stamped on the tire sidewall, that is, the maximum pressure the tire casing can structurally contain. It is not what your car needs. Pump to that number and you crown the tread. Shrink your contact patch, chew out the center of the tire, and stretch your stopping distance, especially in the rain. The placard, cold, every month, that is the whole religion. And while you have 5 minutes invested, stack the free wins on top, drag the dead weight out of your trunk because an extra 100 pounds costs you about 1%, pull the roof box off whenever you are not actually using it, because at interstate speed, that thing can cost you up to 25% since aerodynamic drag climbs with the square of your speed, and retrain your right foot because smooth acceleration and reading the traffic ahead is worth 10 to 40% in stop-and-go driving, the single biggest fuel economy lever you own, and it is installed in your shoe. So run the final math with me. The additive habit is $15 a bottle, and that aisle wants you buying monthly. That is $180 a year spent on solvents and mothball chemistry your engine never asked for, stacked against $1 once for a gauge, plus 5 minutes a month, recovering up to 3% of every tank you buy, stretching your tire life by thousands of miles, and shortening your stopping distance, which is the one benefit in this entire video you cannot put a price on. And because the garage underground does not do, trust me bro, here is your assignment, the 2-tank challenge. Tonight, fill up, reset your trip computer, drive your normal week, and write down your average. Then run the ritual, placard pressure on all 4 corners, purge the trunk, same routes, same week, second tank, and post both numbers in the comments below, because this community verifies everything in the data and on camera, and that is exactly why the pill sellers and the flame bottle brands cannot survive contact with us. Share this video with the one friend who has an octane booster sitting on their garage shelf right now. You will save them real money by Sunday, and I will see you in the next one. Same garage, same